toy maker, author, and creator of LifeLines, an organization providing resources and workshops to help people struggling with anxiety and depression find their path towards self-awareness and meaning. In her book Lifelines, Melissa shares her journey to self-acceptance and also shares how she channeled profound darkness into radiant light. Through live workshops and a private Facebook community, Melissa now helps others create lives of meaning, purpose, and self-acceptance. When you read or read Viktor Frankl's 1946 book, Man's Search for Meaning, you learned about existentialistic depression, which was a light bulb moment for you. Can you tell us about this light bulb moment?
Absolutely. This was what I call, a dot moment, which profoundly changed my life. Because Viktor Frankl was in a concentration camp and had a real crisis of meaning there. He couldn't understand why something like this would happen and how he could sort of find the will to live, and how some found the will to live and some didn't. And after he got out, he engaged in what he termed logotherapy, a form of existential analysis. And even though I was a word person my whole life, I literally read the thesaurus for fun. I had never heard the words existential or logotherapy. And when I looked them up, I realized for the first time in my life that he was actually describing what I had experienced my entire life.
All right, so your website, LifeLines, features a falling leaf as one scrolls down. The leaf lands in a larger pile at the end of the page. How is the leaf symbolic and significant to your journey with your existentialistic depression?
Oh, that's a great question. The leaf is everything to me, and I have had a tradition my whole life where in the fall, I try to catch leaves as they're falling from the tree before they hit the ground, because I view that very journey as the journey from life to death. Because when a leaf separates from the tree, it is actually falling to its death and ultimate rebirth in decomposing in the earth to rise up as something brand new. So I started to see this as a metaphor for my own life and my own hope that one day I will rise up into something new and vibrant again myself. So I thought if I could catch a leaf in the middle of its journey and kind of give it a send-off, say goodbye to it, it would maybe immortalize me in this communion with all life. So everything we do at LifeLines, even our logo, has leaves in it, really signifying that leaves can both rise up in the spring as new birth and then fall off the trees in the autumn and decompose in the death rebirth process. So that leaves and nature are very essential to everything we're doing at LifeLines, and are helping me to accept, and I think if I can accept that my own journey will be that of the leaf, and that hopefully I will again be reborn into something, then I will perhaps be better able to accept it.
That's beautiful. In your view, how has your website supported people with mental health challenges? And can you speak about the quote unquote backpack?
Absolutely. I'd love to. Yeah. So Doug and I are doing this, entirely free. Mm-hmm. We've been so fortunate in 32 years of running Melissa and Doug that this really is our passion project to giving back. And basically, we're simply peer-to-peer support. We're not professionals, but our goal is to show folks that they're not alone. And I know that sounds somewhat cliched to say, oh, you're not alone, because a lot of people say it, but they don't mean it. But we really mean it. We accept everyone exactly as they are and welcome them into this warm community where they're embraced no matter who they are. Mm-hmm. And we talk about things. We have these beautiful workshops where we talk about very deep, dark issues, and people share things that they have never shared before. Every time in a workshop, someone says, I'm sharing something I've never shared before.
Wow.
Or I've never spoken publicly. And that is so beautiful. And it just shows what a need there is for this type of support. And then we're trying to, illustrate that we all have the capacity to channel our darkness into light and make meaning. I mean, it's in all of us. Just sometimes those beautiful sparks of self-expression get submerged by tragedy, trauma, responsibility, and we believe we've lost meaning, but we haven't. And then the last thing that will tie into the backpack you asked about is, so many of us are racing away from ourselves, and either in the futile race of activity, or we're numbing ourselves, distracting ourselves, or we're paralyzed to make that journey inward and really accept who we are.
So in your book, LifeLines, an inspirational journey from profound darkness to radiant light, you talk about your depression that you've lived with even as a young child. Do you think these experiences have given you special insights as an adult today? And like, what do you want your readers to take away from reading your book?
Ooh, yes, absolutely. They have formed everything I am. And I think, the special insight is once you've gone to the darkest of dark places and you've touched the despair, like existential despair is there's nothing deeper than existential nihilism, which basically is posits that there's no meaning to existence and we have no ability to make meaning. I feel like I can sit with anyone when they're in that dark place as well. And that's a really powerful sense of agency for me, that I can be with others in their darkness as well and not be scared and be able to, even though I'm not a professional, like I know what it took for me to come out of the abyss. And I feel really, I feel a profound sense of meaning in being able to help others find their way out of that darkness too. So, and then the other thing is when you feel like you're a victim to the despair, which I felt for about 25 years. And it's just raging through you and you won't be able to do anything to ever find light. And then you realize that actually within your own being, you have these beautiful sparks that can be kindled to make that meaning and find the light. It's also a profound sense of agency. And when I realized that I could take darkness and actually channel it into light and make toys and other beautiful things that could light up people's lives and bring them joy, it was a profound sense of meaning. And I think one of my hopes is that I can help others sow those seeds of self-expression in their souls as well and turn their darkness into light. So it's all, my meaning is forged directly out of my experience. And every moment I'm breathing, my goal is to help others not feel so alone, know they can channel their darkness into light, and have the courage to take this journey inward and accept themselves as who they are.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned, and of course we're going to get into this, but your toy company, by your husband and you, Melissa and Doug, is very, very successful. Yeah. What was the inspiration to start this toy company? And, how has this company really kind of shed light on your life? I mean, it's such a huge achievement, and continues to be.
Well, I never would have had the courage to do it without Doug. And I met Doug when I was 19, and he's been such a supporter and really my best friend. And, we both followed very traditional paths out of college because that's what society said to do. And I truly marched to the beat of society, which is why I was so miserable, because I'm the most anti in the box person there is. I'm like defy convention. But I was doing a job that was like soul sucking. It was just making me so sad, and I wasn't good at it, and I didn't know why I was doing it. I was becoming really despairing. I was very depressed. And Doug was finding he was better at his job and enjoyed it more, but still didn't find like the life meaning and the reason to get out of bed. And I didn't know what I was going to do because it was really hard for me to get out of bed each day and go to work. And he was like, Melissa, let's do something together. We can do something together. And I was like, I don't know, what is, I was so terrified. And he convinced me to go away for a weekend and that we wouldn't leave until we figured out what it was we were going to do. And and he always jokes, we conceived a toy company out of wedlock because we were just dating. And we decided pretty quickly that it had to be something based around children, because three out of four of our parents were educators themselves, and my dad was an educational publisher. So they were all involved in children's causes. We loved children, and we knew that if we could do something to spark their imaginations, that it would have meaning and maybe impact people in a positive way. So we decided to make children's products.
It's amazing. If you could share a piece of advice to anyone who's overcoming their demon of depression, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I have learned that between living inauthentically and living authentically lies tremendous anxiety and despair. And to me, when you feel depression, instead of thinking it's something bad and something wrong with you, like I now realize that there's something very right with you. You're really getting to the point where you're pondering the way you're living, and maybe it's you're not happy with how you're living, or you don't feel you belong in this life, and you trying to get your way out of that so you can live authentically. And the only way you can go from inauthenticity to authenticity is going right through the despair. The only way out is through. And when I realized that, only after the fact, I saw that these feelings, these dark, deep, lonely feelings are necessary for enlightenment. I saw that so many of us that believe something is wrong, it's the very opposite. Something is very right. You are butting up against the necessary feelings to rise beyond it. So I would say, look into it instead of racing away from it. Have the courage, if you need to use a professional, because I did, enlist a professional, or you can even take the journey on our website. It's free. And it's the journey I spent a lot of money for with a professional. Just know that the only way out is through. And the sooner you start to investigate why you're feeling the feelings you are, you'll realize that they make a lot of sense based on your life experience and the questions you're asking. And if you can have the courage to stare them in the face, you will ultimately find the way out.
I would agree. This has been wonderful, Melissa.